Hello there everyone. This is a topic I've always wanted to talk about on my channel, and honestly is one of the main reasons I started my channel. It's basically time to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. For a lot of people, the whole George Floyd, Breonna Taylor situation, happy birthday to her as well, and the countless other murders of Black people in the hands of police brutality or just pure hatred has caused another uprising or moment for people to, you know, be awoken and woke, I don't know. I don't know the exact words for it, but let's discuss it. So like I said again, race is always something I wanted to bring up I've always wanted to discuss on my channel, because for me, I don't have the luxury or the privilege to say that it's a political matter when it's not. It's literally a human rights matter, and ignore it or push it to the side. Because when you see me, I'm a dark-skinned Black girl born and raised in America. That is the first thing that you see when you notice me. You're not gonna notice, I can't even bring up examples, because literally my whole entire life, race has always been a main factor of the way I make decisions, the way I'm viewed, the way I'm treated, and the way I act. When I was younger, I've always gone to schools where I've been the only Black person. Especially in high school, I was literally the only Black person my entire high school. Or I've been one of few. And in that way, I mean, I was blessed enough to have like a group of Black friends that always kept me grounded, and they all were going through the same situation. I knew them outside of school, so when the time came, I could like pull myself away from any drama or anything revolving around race, and I could just, you know, relax and kind of debrief with them. But for other girls, and especially girls, especially Black girls, we really do have the hardest when it comes to those situations, because studies have actually showed that it's harder for Black girls to be accepted, Black girls, Black women, all the above, to be accepted in predominantly white spaces. But basically, I've never had the option to just be complacent when it comes to race issues. You know, being the only Black person growing up, it was just like it or not, I was somehow elected the representative for the entire Black race. So this meant always being on my A game, which was something I really struggled with, and always just not only representing my family, but also for a lot of people I knew growing up, I was their first interaction or first friendship with someone who was Black. And the amount of pressure that puts on someone growing up is huge, and I don't think a lot of people understand that. But that's something I will get into at a later date or time. I don't know when, because it's traumatic. I'm not even gonna lie here, it's traumatic. I don't think a lot of people also realize, like, being a young Black person and growing up in those spaces, that you actually do go through trauma of maybe you've had a friend whose parent has told them like, oh yeah, you can't hang out with so-and-so because they're Black. A situation that has literally happened to my little cousin. Or you can't take so-and-so there because they're Black. A situation that's happened to me. Or even death threats, another situation that's happened to me, all because of the color of my skin, something that I have no choice over in life. But even if I did, I wouldn't change a single thing. But all of that is something I'll get into later. But right now, I want to talk about activism. I have kind of been participating in activism since, I guess you could say since I was like in elementary school and stuff, because, you know, not only am I an activist for, you know, Black Lives Matter, the LGBTQ plus community, being ally, having friends. Not everybody want to text me now, hold up. Again, just, you know, being a voice for the voiceless when it comes to activism. A lot of people I know, especially following through the Disney community, are speaking up, which is really good to hear. And there's also a lot of people who aren't. And, you know, for people who are saying, oh, you know, I'm being unbiased, or like, I typically don't talk about these topics and stuff. I can't understand personally, but I can get it. I don't know, I guess I can't get it either, because I've never had that luxury to kind of sit back and just like not, or see something as a political issue when it's not and everything. I get that for a lot of people, you know, Disney is an escape. I know for me, I literally did the Disney college program because I was suffering from depression, and I used the Disney bubble to shelter myself from everything that was actually happening, and it actually did help me recover. And you know, you have to return to the real world. And there's a way that, especially those who have larger numbers, that you can still talk about what you made your page for, but you know, there's life outside of Disney. Crazy, right? Wow. But back on the topic of activism. So to be a good ally, in my opinion, first you have to be able to listen to the stories of Black people and non-Black people of color, because each community, even though at the same time, like minorities, we're all suffering the same way. It's a different type of suffer and struggle. At the end of the day, we're all getting the short end of the stick. So listening to people's stories, you can't sit here and tell a Black person their experience or how you think their experience is. No, because each Black person is going to have a different experience. My experience might be different from my friends who have literally been in the same situations as me, but they might have a completely different experience. Along with that comes education, reading. When people post little infographics on their story, take the time to actually like click on it. Read what's talking about. I saw a really good one about microaggressions, and for those who don't know, microaggressions is kind of, for example, let's say if you tell someone like, oh, like you're the whitest Black person I've ever met, or like you're an Oreo. That's not cute, it's not funny, and it's actually very hurtful and everything. So education starts with actually like reading, especially with social media, like in the internet, the world is now your oyster. You have no excuse to really be ignorant when you can sit here and do the research and everything that you're now speaking up on. 2, education, watching documentaries, reading books, attending speeches if you're a college kid on your campus, and especially if you go to PWIs, because there are, I can't speak for the PWI experience, but I know in high school we would have spaces where the students of color would actually talk about their experiences or give helpful resources for those who want to take the time and learn and educate themselves and other people around them. Books, of course, you can't go wrong with a good old-fashioned book. Or audiobooks, because I don't know why after the age of 14 I can't sit down and read a book anymore. I kind of just listen to them now. And TED Talks. I love a good TED Talk. Almost hosted one, actually. On top of that, like also, especially for those, again, in the Disney community, 'cause, hey y'all, pay attention to the creators of color in your community, meaning Black creators of color, non-Black people of color as well, because a lot of people, what I've noticed, are just now realizing that like we're here, we exist, and the community is popping. Like, have you seen the Disney Bounds? Girl, have you? Oh, shout out. Okay, like on all serious notes, but you know, pay attention to them, because this is and you know, fight for diversity and inclusion, because after all of this is done, like this is not the end. This is the beginning for a lot of people. We've been here and we've been talking about these topics, but now people are finally listening. You know, again, the circumstances are sad. All of this breaks my heart. And also just remember to also take care of yourself, because mental health matters, and especially Black mental health matters. I know personally for me, I can't watch another video of someone getting killed on camera by anything. I just can't. It literally, but just some closing remarks. Again, please take care of yourselves. Mental health matters, and also pay attention to those who you follow, those who you call your friends, who have either decided to be silent or speak up because they feel like they were pressured to. For those who, I don't know. It's kind of frustrating to see that some people are just either taking this as an opportunity to you know, not get canceled, and others are being silent, or some are just hiding behind the fact that they'll say, oh, I know Black people, or my family's very diverse, like I can't be racist. Yes, you can. There is such thing as people who, there is literally, I read a story about this dad, white father, adopted a Black daughter, and he fully admitted he was racist even though he had a Black daughter. Why? Because he didn't see his daughter as black. He was just like, oh, that's my daughter. And that's where the dangers of colorblindness come. Because you can say like, oh, I don't see color. I have black friends. I have black family, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, you can still be racist. Why? Because you don't see that person as black. You just see them as like the one exception. The one exception to the point where you don't even consider them part of the aspect that could literally get them killed. And the dangers behind that. So make sure you're checking your circles, people you're calling your friends. But this is a topic I would love to go more into depth with on my channel. I don't know. Maybe next time I'll plan this better. This was just more of my, what is it called when you want to get everything off your chest? Oh, exactly that. So take care of yourselves.